Hey everyone, it's been a few weeks since the last showcase, but I figured it's time that we do one more before the end of the year. This is going to be the All Japan Grand Touring Car Championship Showcase, which is generally referred to as JGTC. So this is a showcase taking place in automation and also beamng. We can't follow the exact rules of this touring car championship, so Distraga, Overlord, and I have condensed the rules down into something that makes sense for automation, and it's more in the spirit of this event. So it's time that we go through the rules. Let's go ahead and start off at the beginning. As I said before, it is the final showcase of 2019. We're only going to be doing one more this year, and then it'll be a fresh batch next year. So for this, we're going to be splitting cars into two main classes, which are further split into two subclasses. So there are technically four subclasses that will be racing in this. So keep in mind that you can only pick one class to stick with. You'll be able to pick one main class and one subclass. You can only make one car for this showcase, so it's an important decision. So we have overarching rules for all of these cars. This applies to both main classes and all four subclasses. Basically, all cars must be between the years of 1995 and 2005 in every aspect. That's trim, variant, and engine, and then the bodies can be from any year. We don't want to limit it too much. Advanced safety is required with 0 or higher quality. This is to imitate having race car safety stuff like roll cages and such. They do have weight, so this will help with that. Premium fuel is the only acceptable fuel. It's unfortunate for the leaded fuel gang, but no driver aids are allowed, no traction control, no ABS, no ESC. Please keep that stuff off the cars. Minimum weight is 1,100 kilos, and body styles that are acceptable, this is very important. Coupes, sedans, and hatchbacks. So you can't do vans, you can't do trucks. It has to be coupes, sedans, and hatchbacks as per automation standards, so as automation defines them, and then a width of 1.2 meters. This is just to add a little bit more realism to it. The cars that were actually in this series are incredibly wide because they're just covered in aero bits. So what I've done is I put together a chart that makes it a little bit easier to follow along with the class rules, because each main class has rules and then each subclass has rules, so there are 3 sets of rules that you have to follow to make this work. So let's say I want to do a GT500 class car. I'm going to need to follow the rules that are in the GT500 class, and then I'm going to need to go down to the subclass that I want to do. So let's say I want to do GT1, and I'm going to have to follow the GT1 rules as well. So that means I'm going to have to follow the general rules, the GT500 class rules, and the GT1 subclass rules. Quick overview, the GT500 class has double the budget of the GT300, so it's more expensive cars, much more expensive in fact, and they'll generally be more powerful as well, especially if you go with the GT1, which has no horsepower restrictions, but it is rear-wheel drive only. And then if you look at the GT300 class, no exotic materials, your chassis type is limited, budget of 60k instead of 120, and if you go down a little bit further, it's very similar in the subclasses, but you can still have no horsepower restriction if you go GT2. I've put that in words just below the table to make it a little bit easier for you to follow along. Alright, now we get to a bunch of words. So submission guidelines. So submissions will be taking place on the automotiveflux Discord server. I've made a specific channel called Showcase Submissions. It's a channel that you can only submit on. There will be no discussion there. However, there are a lot of other channels on the Discord that you can talk about the showcase in, so keep the submissions to there and the talk to everything else. Like I said before, only one submission is allowed per person. If you want to work as a team, you can, but it's only one submission allowed per team. Say you want to make your own little racing team with somebody else, then you can only do that with one car officially. When you submit, please include, and again, incredibly important here, one clear screenshot of your car along with what class you intend to enter. So the clear screenshot is huge because we're going to be doing voting. And that's what I'm going to talk about next. For this showcase, we will be bringing back the voting system from the Cyberpunk showcase with a twist. Only 25 cars will be allowed to race in each subclass, meaning that there will be 100 total participants in the stream. And by the stream, I mean the racing portion of the showcase. Because just like the Cyberpunk showcase, we're going to be having a minor aesthetics portion, and that's where the voting takes place, and then the actual racing part will be a stream that is separate. So the reason for this is to avoid having extremely long streams, like some of the previous showcases where it totaled like 8 or 9 hours of streaming, and that was way too much. So since then, we've decided to limit things to 100 max. So here's some exciting news. Just like I said, we'll be voting as a community on these cars in a very similar way as before, but this time in order to equal the playing field, Destraga and Overlord have pledged to make a card for every single qualifying entry. Now by qualifying entry, I don't mean ones that actually get into the race, but everybody whose car actually fits into a class, regardless of if it's more than 25 in that class or not, you're going to get a card like this. It kind of looks like a trading card, but that is going to be what people vote on and what they base their voting on in the poll. So everybody's going to get one of those. By the way, I don't mean a physical copy, you just get a digital version. It'll be posted on the Discord, I'm sure. Alright, so that is it for the rules. Just keep in mind that this is a living document. In the past, we have had to make clarifications and slight adjustments to the rules as things went on, and it's important that you keep watching this to make sure that nothing drastic changes, because if you submit, you can only have one resubmission. Oh yeah, I guess I didn't mention that before, but it is in here. There is one resubmission allowed. Say you mess up something small, we can just tell you that you can fix that quickly and then resubmit, but we're only going to do that once. We don't have unlimited resubmissions because we don't have unlimited time. So please, make sure when you're submitting that you have everything noted down. So the official starting date is right now. If you're watching this video, that means that it's on, like the showcase is going. But it's finishing off Saturday, November 23rd, 2019 at 12 p.m. EST, that is noon. So make sure that your submission is in before that day. That gives you 3 weeks to work on it, so that is a lot of time. Just make sure to use that time wisely. So voting will take place over the following week, and then the stream will be shortly after. Dates and times for that will be confirmed. I don't know when I'm going to be free yet, but it'll likely be on the Saturday or something like that. Just have to find time to export all of these cars. So that's it for the rules. Hopefully everything makes sense. If it doesn't, just comment below and I will clarify if I can. Also, the Discord is going to be a great resource for all of those people who are wanting to submit. Every time I do one of these showcases, the Discord just lights up with people, and just more and more people there to help you out with your build. There'll even be people there to test your cars if you really want them tested. Just keep in mind, this is a touring car championship, so it's going to be on pavement. Yeah, so we'll be picking a track based on that. It's unknown which track it's going to be yet, so we'll figure that out when it happens. But until then, just keep working on this. We've got a couple weeks to do it, and I'm going to be making my own version of this this coming Friday, so you'll see that. You can see what kind of stuff I do, so you might want to wait until then to make your decision on what class. So yeah, that's it for this video. I'll see you again on Friday.